Ugh, my child and I go round and round about learning and using punctuation in their writing. It's exhausting. How important is it really that I get them to do this? I'm Jenny Sherson, ex-special educator turned dyslexia interventionist. It wasn't so long ago that I, too, was overwhelmed by balanced literacy versus structured literacy, education speak, and everything in between. Fast forward after many, many hours of self-driven education, and you'll see I've built a thriving dyslexia practice helping students from age 6 to 18. My specialties? Working with the quote-unquote difficult, almost always 2E, student, and breaking down the complexities of dyslexia into everyday language strategies and action steps. I can hear you already, groaning to yourself, oh, Jenny, are we really going to talk about grammar and punctuation? And why is this important to my child? I just want them to learn how to read. As we've already talked about a few times, all language is interwoven with each other. This means at its core, we can't pull apart speaking, reading, and writing. They have a symbiotic and secular relationship. I recently read a book that referred to punctuation as the road signs to language. Punctuation provides us with directions and a path for understanding. In other words, grammar and punctuation provide clarity and understanding. Without them, sentences can be ambiguous and hard to understand, leading to confusion or misunderstanding. Take the well-known example of let's eat grandma. A comma here is key. Let's eat, comma, grandma means something completely different than when there is no comma. Let's eat grandma. Poor grandma. That little comma is also vitally important when dealing with legal documents and contracts. Missing commas in a contract can lead to expensive litigation, damages for breach of contract, and loss of business and profits. Take, for example, Lockheed Martin. In 1999, Lockheed Martin signed a contract to build Hercules aircraft for a foreign air force. Since it takes years to build aircraft, the contract included a formula for increasing the price of the aircraft to keep pace with inflation. But there was a comma mistake. The formula used to calculate the future price for these aircraft contained a typo that misplaced the comma by 1 decimal point. That misplaced comma cost Lockheed Martin $70 million. So, what are some ways you can help a dyslexic with their grammar and punctuation? First, teach them parts of speech and parts of a sentence. You can incorporate color and manipulatives by using Legos or sticky notes. Say you put all the nouns on yellow, all the verbs on green, and all the adjectives on purple, and so on. Once they have a grasp of the different parts, have them start putting sentences together using those Legos or sticky notes. This way, they can see how sentences are put together. Sentences are literally built, and the building materials are the different kinds of words and sentence parts. I also love finding examples online of poor grammar and punctuation. The quirkier, the funnier, the better. It's not too hard to find an image of a sign posted in a workplace or store that does not mean what the writer originally intended, purely because the sentences used wonky structure and poor punctuation. Then talk about it. What does it mean based on how it's actually written? How could we fix it so that it says what the writer originally intended? And finally, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Dyslexics' verbal comprehension is often miles ahead of their reading comprehension. So talking through the problem while visually showing them is key. It also provides built-in repetition. It's a natural way to weave that repetition dyslexics need for learning written language. If you have any further questions about dyslexia or grammar and punctuation, please feel free to sneak into my inbox. I'd also love your input. What would you like to hear from me in the future? Is there a topic I haven't covered yet you really want to learn more about? Or do you have a pressing need and you're not really sure how to handle it or move forward? Send me a DM on Instagram or drop me an email at jenny@literacyuntangled.com. That's JENNIE at literacyuntangled.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Literacy Untangled. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head on over and rate and subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you want to continue the conversation or share your takeaways, head on over to our Instagram at Literacy Untangled and comment on your favorite part. I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Bye!